We established how the act of skating together in Sk8 the Infinity can be allegorical to different types of intimacy. So let's extend this conversation to talk about how the skating culture itself represents queerness. In Sk8 the Infinity, there's this underground secretive skateboarding track called S, where one of the biggest rules is, once you're off the mountain, mum's the word. Some of the characters live a double life and take on different personas and forms of expression when participating in S. The sophisticated politician Shindo becomes Adam, the famed calligraphy artist Sakura Yashiki becomes Cherry, and the flower store employee Higa becomes Lord Shadow. The characters that live this double life are particularly protective of keeping these lives separate, as we see in the scene how Reki calling Sakura Yashiki Cherry in public angers him greatly. This need for secrecy is not out of shame though. In fact, I'd say skating is where the characters truly shine as themselves. The secrecy is because it's illegal. I can only speak of this culture as a casual fan that's watched a few seasons of Drag Race, but that sounds a lot to me like how drag culture historically has led many performers to lead double lives, often because of homophobia and even laws against expressions of gender nonconformity. You know how you don't call drag queens by their government names and vice versa? I feel like Sk8 the Infinity takes on a very similar energy here. There's also a huge secrecy with the membership of S itself, where often you need a referral from someone just to get in, and upon reading about it, I find similarities between the secrecy and Shinjuku's gay club culture, where oftentimes these clubs operated on an underground basis and typically membership and permission to enter are determined by the owners or mamas. And going back to Sk8 with the variety of characters provided, I think there's also something to be said about how many of the younger characters like Reki and Langa don't really take on a double life, which could also potentially represent how queerness is becoming more normalized and accepted with the younger generations. I know oftentimes we get into a debate between queer baiting and queer coding, but with the way the anime presents the skating culture, along with how we've already established that the act of skating together works really well as a representation for intimacy, I'm leaning more towards queer coded this time around.